Hi, everyone. I'm Steve here with Brian Sanchez, who is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City. How's it going, Brian?
All's well, Steve. How you doing?
Nice.
You look like you did a bunch of cardio today.
Funny. Yeah. I'm allergic to cardio.
For those of you who don't know, we're kind of ripping on somebody getting mad at Steve making a cardio joke. But anyway, Steve,
Yeah,
how you
we'll
doing?
tell you about that later.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're talking about Retatrutide. Now, you guys got to know, Brian and I talk about this all the time. There's common sense. Look, we're not doctors. We're not scientists. We're not pharmacists. We are just a couple of meatheads who have been gym rats, for me for 50 years, for Brian about 45, 40 years. That's what we do. And so we've got a lot of experience, and I like to say common sense. We're going to talk about Retatrutide again, but people say, well, what's common sense? They're always trying to get you with this gotcha. What's common sense? Well, it's sense that's common to the average person. That's what I would say it is. So, and doctors aren't gods. And look, I'm getting on a rant already, but we're going to talk about the results. Retatrutide, I think, has just finished up stage 3 trials, and Eli Lilly has a patent on it, some type of a patent, which I don't know if they can patent a peptide, which isn't your body can make. So they maybe modified it or something. They'll give it a medication name, and then they'll bring it to market. It's going to make it to market because the stuff is amazing. So a lot of people, can get it through compounding pharmacies. A physician can write you a prescription. So that can happen. People are using it, and you can get a prescription through compounding pharmacies. There's ways to do that. And, I have a lot of connections with my health clubs and all that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it does to see if maybe you might want to try it when it's ready to go. So, Brian, I know you are absolutely amazed. I am absolutely amazed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not, this could be one of the greatest medical breakthroughs in decades. So what are your thoughts now at about week number 5 for you? And small doses, 2 to 3 milligrams, very
Yeah.
small. The
Yeah.
research is being done with up to 16
16 milligrams.
milligrams a
Yeah.
week, which is a buttload of product. So what are your thoughts here on week 5, Ryan?
Well, I don't doubt that the body at some point is going to require more if you stay on the product. Just my overall thoughts of the GLPs, only because I have no intent on staying on Retatrutide after we do this. I'm not saying I won't try it again if I want to cut some weight here and there, because it's very powerful. And I am a 100% believer in it's your behavioral approach to food, your behavior approach to fitness. That is truly what you need to accomplish in order to maintain a healthy physique, a healthy internal, and those types of things. It's not whether or not you find the golden egg that's going to help you forever, because I do believe, look, I got a lot of chubba on this body. And so I do think it's probably a lot easier with the GLP in my system to lose weight a little bit quicker than, let's say, Steve, who's way leaner than me. I've got more to lose, so it's going to give a bigger percentage comparatively to him. Now, with that said, I would be concerned if I was on it for a doctor for the purposes of my A1C, or I had an addiction I needed to kick and I was monitoring it with a doctor or anything like that, then by all means, please get on this. My worry right now with the GLPs, and this is what I'm starting to look at, and then I'll get into me, is people are using them, that they're on them for a long time without a lot of real doctor guidance, because the companies will sell these to you. And if you are not actively consuming quality food, heavy proteins first, while you're on these GLPs, I would be very concerned that I'm losing muscle mass and proper nutrition, because I'm telling you what, I am a pig eater, but for the last 5 weeks, it is absolutely one of the toughest things for me to do is the way I used to, and I flat out can't. However, what I chose to do, not in the very beginning, and we've talked about this in our videos, I chose to go clean food to change my practice and change my behavior. So I'm eating a little more like what Steve would probably eat when it comes to sources of food, good proteins, good carbs, and things like that, instead of my powerlifting mindset of, I'm going to eat whatever I want to get big. So, with that said, be careful. It's up to you and your body. But I will tell you what, I am convinced based on my first 5 full weeks that my cravings are gone. My appetite is gone. My metabolism's got to be up because I'm not as drowsy as I used to be. And I get good sleep, but there's something going on. In my life, I suffered from anxiety and depression, and I was able to kick all that and get off the meds when I started testosterone. My body balanced out differently, and that became, I don't know why, but it became an easier thing for me to deal with. Now, with this product in my system, it's not that I don't care, but concerns aren't the same right now. It's the weirdest thing I've ever felt in my life. I have, I am a tobacco user when it comes to cigars, and 5, 6, 7 cigars a week easy. I haven't even done it now. This last week, I didn't even touch a cigar. I've got no want. The last one I tried to smoke, when I started smoking, I got this really odd, nauseating feeling in my stomach that I've never had before. And this wasn't a hard, strong cigar. This is one of my regulars. And I can't help think that something in my head is saying, yeah, this isn't good for me right now. And I don't even want it. Why? So I put it out. Piece of cake at my granddaughter's birthday party. I hadn't had any. Sounded like a good idea for a little bit. I got a couple bites into it and I'm like, it disgusted me. Not because I don't like this stuff. This is stuff I absolutely love to consume. But all those cravings, all the sugar cravings are gone. I used to have candy around me all the time. It's not. Now, this has made it very easy for me. And this is why I support the use of these things in that sense. It's made it real easy for me to learn and move into a clean eating system, which is one of my biggest faults. Is it's helped me to prioritize my food first, because I know I have to keep my proteins up because I don't want to lose muscle mass. I've got to eat it, and I've had to use supplements to do it. I can't eat enough for my body size in regular food because I just can't. I just don't know why I can't, but I just can't. So I drink, I use bars, and I supplement it also with my meals, and I keep track of that. The weight's coming off, everyone. Again, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean, but I can tell you as of today, I'm down 14 pounds in 5 weeks. I have never lost weight that fast in my life. And I can assure you, I am pushing as hard as I can to get to a 3,000 calorie diet. I don't know if I'm making it anymore to that. Now, how I trying to curb that, and I think I ate more this week, so I slowed down the weight loss where I was going like well over 2 pounds a week. And this week, I think on our scanner, I came back on the body scan today, like 1.2 pounds lost in a week, which I'm okay with. But my food intake was easier because I split my dose. And I've seen all the information everybody else says. Some people say don't split doses. Some people say do split doses. But I upped it to 3 milligrams because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I'm taking half at the beginning of the week, half at the end of the week. And it's allowed me to not have such an impact, I think, when it comes to lack of appetite. I can eat a little bit more, which I'm very happy with because that helps me get my proteins in. But it's enough in my system to where I'm not reaching and choosing for the things I'm addicted to, like sugars and tobaccos and things of that nature. So it's a very interesting product. If you are in a situation where you need to lose weight, give it a try. Check with your doctors, but give it a try. I have seen all the information for first generation GLP-1, second generation GLP-2, and then the third that me and Steve are trying. This is different, I think. My metabolism feels great because I feel the energy in my system. My body is humming like I've never had it hum. And my calmness to everything, it just flat out exists. I don't think I can get excited about too much in a bad way right now. I feel chill the whole time with this stuff in my system. It's pleasantly weird, Steve.
Yeah, I would just say, look, I talk to a lot of doctors, a lot of nurse practitioners about this, about the legalities of it. And I listen to a lot of doctors, a lot of opinions. So you can't take anything that we say as advice. It's not, because this is in a process still. And I notice some of the same things. I eat slower. I've noticed that I track all my macros, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. And almost always at the end of the day, my macros come out about one third, one third, one third. I'm always shooting for 200 grams of protein. I get about 200 grams of protein. That means I'm getting about 200 grams of carbohydrates. And that means I'm getting about 100 grams of fat, healthy fat, because that comes out to about one third, one third, one third as far as your calories. And I've noticed if my meal is fat heavy, it's like I don't feel like eating it, and I feel like eating more carbs or whatever I'm lacking, until it can't be described. It is very bizarre. And I think it's not really a fat loss thing. It's a make your body healthy thing. And now they're starting to test it for, they know it does more good things for your body. So now they're going, okay, what else can we market this as when we actually cut it loose beyond the compounding pharmacies right now? And there's research, chemical sites out there. Let's not fool each other. People buy these from these research chemical sites and that are not for human consumption, and they consume them. Okay, I'm not stupid. You're not stupid. Nobody listening to this is stupid. So that does happen. Is that going to get cracked down on? I don't know. But I will say, I can't really describe it either. It's just kind of bizarre. And the people I talk to that have used it say the things that you're saying. And we're going to have to start calling you Slim, Brian. Your new nickname is Slim.
Never in my life. Well, and think of this. And Steve's watched me over the last few weeks. Something as simple as this is the smallest shirt I've worn, and I don't know how long. I'm usually at a minimum of 3X in my shirts, and I'm finally into the smaller size. And think about that. Men, a lot of the times, carry body fat through here and through here. And my body's changing that right now. And I'm not losing, um, you know, my high end of my strength process right now, in the sense of I can still lift heavy weights. I can't power lift anymore. I've given that up. So if I try to go into my powerlifting weights, it's not going to happen. But I mean, good, solid structural weightlifting, I have no problem doing it. So it's not relinquishing my strength or anything like that. I will say, disclosure, I do take NAD plus 3 days a week and I stack that with it on Mondays and Fridays. The NAD plus helps me a little bit with this product in my mind, and it helps my energy sources and it helps everything just kind of move along a little bit better. So I think that's helping a little bit in the weightlifting side of things. And I'm on TRT. So I have a combination of things that are working hand in hand. And I was telling Steve, what really interests me, because I wasn't as in depth with all these supplements, but the downsizing of my body over the last 3 years, getting out of the large size that I was, is shocking for me as an individual. And what I've been able to do the last few weeks has been extremely surprising to me. Now, here's when I come off of this, if I don't stay to my clean eating practices, everybody watching our videos is going to know, because my head's going to turn into a watermelon. I will gain the weight back. There's no doubt in my mind. There's enough information out
A
there.
sideways watermelon?
Maybe so. It'll look good. There's enough information out there with these products that, yeah, you can get all the weight off, but what's your plan after? This is going to go back to what Steve and I always talk about. I am trying now to make sure I'm setting myself up to come off of it, or all this has been is just a failed diet if I gain all my weight back. Does that make sense, everybody? So there's a little something to that. The other thing, and I know Steve's being cautious with this. I will tell you, I buy my product from a peptide company legally. Uh, I get it at an incredible price. Here's what I'm worried about. I'm curious as to what the big companies are going to sell this for to the American people. Here's my conspiracy and the costs they're going to charge people. Because I know right now with the GLP products that once it goes through these processes, the prices go through the roof. And I wouldn't be shocked, Steve, if the companies that like I'm purchasing for won't be able to sell it. I'd be curious to see if the stuff that I'm purchasing and reconstituting comes off the market. That would be really interesting to see. So I'm going to kind of keep my eyes on that too. But we probably got a good year before the medical company actually starts selling it under prescription, be my guess, because they're just in what, phase 3 of their testing? So
Now
they're
they're finished with
finalizing.
that. They're finished with that. My guess would be it is because they have a patent on it. And you know what? If somebody's got a patent on something, I'd be pretty pissed off too if I have a patent on something and you're selling it when I did all the research and all that. So I do think it's something that's going to come off of the research sites, but you will, this is just my opinion, you will be able to get it by prescription through compounding pharmacies if you have the doctor that will write the prescription. Why? Because I think Eli Lilly, who has the patent on this, will get their piece of that. So they're going to allow, this is just a guess. And you guys can't take anything that we're telling you as advice or, medical advice. We're not doing that. We're not doctors. I'm just guessing. So that would be my guess with that, is that it's going to, they're going to control it. You have a patent on it. They're going to control it, right?
Yeah, and that's what I want to see. I want to see in a couple of years what those costs will be. The other thing too, and I went into this with open eyes. I know that I don't know, maybe the last 5 years they've been working on this really hard. So I know there's not a ton of research on this, and there's always a chance when you're doing this stuff without the research that we might find out in 10 years that maybe I shouldn't have done that. We don't know yet, but we'll find out. I'm just comfortable because of what the product truly is. And I'm comfortable with it being a peptide.
Yeah. And again, a peptide is a chain of amino acids that your body can make all peptides. And your body does make peptides every day. Your body makes peptides, which is a signaling chain of amino acids. It signals your body or initiates that signal to your body to do something. So the last thing I would say about this is it's not really about the weight loss. This is why I think this is an amazing discovery, because it's about making your body work better. I'm 63. My body does not work the same as it did when it was 20. But imagine if my body functioned, my mitochondria, all the cells in my body, everything I did and how my body works. Imagine if it worked exactly like I was 20 again. And I'm not saying that Retatrutide makes your body work exactly like you're 20 again, but it does make it work better if you're older. And with peptides, my opinion, look, the older people are always going to get more bang for their buck because their bodies don't work like they do when they were younger. You don't need the signal if you're 20 years old. It is interesting. Peptides work. I'm not going to sit here and say they don't work, but everyone's different. We talk about that all the time. Everyone is different. Everyone's response is different. Of course, there's commonalities with everybody. And I love hearing their stories about what happened or this happened or that happened. And it's fun. And we're living in a very fun period as far as your health. So you guys have to do your own research. I suggest that you do your own research. You certainly, we don't even get in deep to this stuff. There's a lot of doctors and social media influencers that know 10 times more than we do that talk about this stuff and that really dig into it and really dig into the science and will relay that to you. So listen to the smart people. I mean, I'm not saying I'm dumb. I'm saying Brian's kind of dumb, but
I am.
but I'm not. So
But that's important, Steve. Everybody really has to understand if you're hiding this stuff from your doctor, no disrespect, you're a fool. Everything you do, you need to make sure it's going to be healthy for you. If you're guessing, look out. That's when things can go wrong with your body. Because there were some products that I tried. It was last year I tried one that we talked about. I forget the name of it, but it wasn't a SARM, but it was sold in those categories. And when I started doing the research on it, I was like, oh my gosh, the risks of this stuff. And I'll never touch it again. But, and when I went and got my bloods and I talked to my medical professional about it, he was like, what are you doing? And I go, I tried this. He's like, yeah, don't do that. So, so you have to really be cautious with this stuff, everybody. And I really got to echo that. Don't just roll the dice because somebody says it works. Check with your doctors, check with your professionals, do your own research and make your own decision.
for sure, that's great advice. And you got to think for yourself and go from there. So, Brian, thank you so much for your input, and we will talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody. See you, Steve.